excerpts from the KYOGYOSHINSHO. 14. A collection of passages revealing the true Shinjin of the Pure Land Way. Passage 13. Compiled by Jodo Shinran, disciple of Shakyamuni. 13. What is given by Amida constitutes our aspiration. It is all true and real. Further, what is true and real falls into two types: self-benefiting with a true and real mind, and Amida's benefiting others with a true and real mind. Regarding acts in the three modes that are not good, you should unfailingly take as essential the Buddha's abandoning of them with a true and real mind. And if you perform good in the three modes of action, unfailingly take as essential what the Buddha performed with a true and real mind. It is because a person takes the true and real as essential, whether he be within or without, whether of brightness or darkness, that the term sincere mind is applied. The second is deep mind. Deep mind is the deeply entrusting mind. There are two aspects. One is to believe deeply and decidedly that you are a foolish being of karmic evil, caught in birth and death, ever sinking and ever wandering in transmigration from innumerable kalpas in the past, with never a condition that would lead to emancipation. The second is to believe deeply and decidedly that Amida Buddha's 48 vows grasp sentient beings, and that allowing yourself to be carried by the power of the vow, without any doubt or apprehension, you will attain birth. Further, it is to believe deeply and decidedly that Shakyamuni Buddha leads people to aspire for the Pure Land, by teaching, in the Contemplation Sutta, the three types of meritorious conduct, the 9 grades of beings, and the 2 kinds of good, meditative and non-meditative, and by verifying and praising Amida's 2 kinds of fulfillment, the Buddha's body and land. Further, it is to believe deeply and decidedly that, as taught in the Amida Sutta, all the Buddhas throughout the 10 quarters, countless as the sands of the Ganges, give their witness, and encourage all foolish beings to attain birth without fail. May all practicers, persons of deeply entrusting mind, single-heartedly entrust themselves to the Buddha's words alone, and, thinking not of their lives, but relying utterly on the practice of the Nembutsu, abandon what the Buddha brings them to abandon. Practice what the Buddha brings them to practice. Leave what the Buddha brings them to leave. This is called being in accord with the Buddha's teaching, being in accord with the Buddha's intent. This is being in accord with Amida Buddha's vow. This is to be a true disciple of the Buddha. Well does Shakyamuni, in this evil age of the 5 defilements, in this evil world, among evil sentient beings, evil views, evil passions, and in a time when evil acts and lack of faith prevail, teach and praise the name of Amida, encouraging sentient beings. If one says the name, one unfailingly attains birth. This is the witness. Further, the Buddhas throughout the 10 quarters, fearing that sentient beings might not accept the teaching of the one Buddha, Shakyamuni, altogether, with the same intent, and at the same time, extend their tongues, and covering all the great triple thousand-fold worlds, preach these true and sincere words. Sentient beings, each of you should accept what Shakyamuni has taught, has praised, has given witness to. It is certain, beyond any doubt, that when foolish beings, regardless of whether their evil or merit is great or small, or the period of time long or short, just single-heartedly practice the saying of the name of Amida alone, for up to 100 years, or down to even 1 or 7 days, they unfailingly attain birth. Thus, what one Buddha teaches, all Buddhas give witness to. This is known as establishing Shinjin through the Buddha. Further, right practice is divided in two. First, single-heartedly practicing the saying of the name of Amida alone, whether walking, standing, sitting, or reclining, without regard to the length of time, and without abandoning it from moment to moment. This is called the act of true settlement, for it is in accord with the Buddha's vow. Second, if one engages in worship, sutra recitation, and so on, these are called auxiliary acts. All forms of good, other than these two kinds of practice, true and auxiliary, are called sundry practices. They are all irrelevant and sundry practices. Hence, the term deep mind. The third is the mind of aspiration for birth and directing of virtue. Again, let the person who seeks to be born with the mind of aspiration and directing of virtue aspire for attainment of birth by unfailingly and decidedly taking as essential the vow directed to him from the true and real mind. This mind, in its profound entrusting, is like diamond. It is not shaken, confused, defeated, or broken by people of other views, other teachings, different understandings, or different practices. Just be decisively settled. Single-heartedly hold to the vow, and rightly and directly go forward, without paying attention to what others may say. If your heart advances and retreats, and you look back with weak and cowardly thoughts, you will fall from the path and forfeit the great benefit of birth.